The awakening signal. The first sensation Dr. Elena Vasquez felt was the gentle hum of machinery that had been faithfully working for longer than civilizations had existed. Her eyes opened slowly, fighting against the weight of 850,000 years of sleep. The medical pod around her glowed with soft blue light, its systems carefully bringing her body back to full consciousness after the longest sleep in human history. Elena's throat felt like ancient parchment as she tried to speak. The words came out as barely a whisper, but the pod's sensitive systems detected them immediately. Status report. She managed to croak, her voice growing stronger with each word. Welcome back, Dr. Vasquez, came the warm, familiar voice of Araya, the station's artificial intelligence. Current date is July 15th, 852,847 CE. You have been in stasis for 850,000 years, 7 months and 12 days. All systems are functioning normally. Elena sat up slowly, her muscles protesting the movement despite the pod's efforts to maintain her physical condition. Around her, she could see other pods beginning to activate, their occupants stirring to life after their impossibly long sleep. The Titan research station had been humanity's greatest achievement, a self-sustaining facility built into Saturn's largest moon, designed to preserve human knowledge and culture until the galaxy was ready for their return. Araya, what's the status of human civilization? Elena asked, though she already feared the answer. Dr. Vasquez, according to all available data, humanity is considered extinct by the galactic community. We are listed in the Galactic Union databases as the Vanished Ones, a mythical species that supposedly existed in the distant past. Elena felt a chill that had nothing to do with the medical pod's temperature control. She had expected this, but hearing it confirmed still hit her like a physical blow. The plan had always been to let humanity fade from galactic memory, to observe and learn while the younger species developed their own civilizations. But being forgotten entirely was a harsh reality. Show me the current galactic situation, Elena commanded as she stepped out of the pod and onto the station's warm floors. The main display activated, showing a three-dimensional map of the galaxy that took Elena's breath away. Where once there had been scattered colonies and trading posts, now there was a vast network of civilizations. The Galactic Union encompassed over 12,000 species, with trade routes, communication networks, and diplomatic agreements spanning the entire galaxy. The Galactic Union was formed approximately 400,000 years ago, Araya explained. It's a democratic confederation of species working together for mutual benefit. The current members include the Zephyrians, a species of crystalline beings who excel at mathematics and engineering. The Korthek, a warrior culture that values honor above all else. The Maleri, aquatic beings who have developed remarkable biotechnology. And thousands of others. Elena studied the display, noting how the various species had developed. Many showed signs of human influence in their technology and culture, though they probably didn't realize it. The mathematical principles the Zephyrians used were based on human quantum theory. The Korthek's concept of honor was remarkably similar to the Bushido code the human advisors had shared with their ancestors. The Maleri's biotechnology showed clear evidence of human genetic engineering techniques. Have they achieved interstellar peace? Elena asked hopefully. Not entirely, Araya replied, highlighting several conflict zones on the map. There are still tensions between various factions. The hegemony, led by the Drakmar Empire, believes in rule by the strongest. They control about 30% of the galaxy through conquest and intimidation. The Liberation Alliance opposes them, promoting freedom and self-determination. The remaining species try to maintain neutrality, but it's becoming increasingly difficult. Elena nodded, understanding the situation immediately. This was exactly why humanity had chosen to withdraw from galactic affairs. Young species needed to find their own path to maturity, to make their own mistakes, and learn from them. But now, it seemed, they might need guidance to avoid destroying themselves. Dr. Vasquez, came a voice from across the awakening chamber. Elena turned to see Dr. James Park, the station's xenobiologist, climbing out of his own pod. I've been monitoring the biological scans. The species out there have evolved remarkably. Some have developed abilities we could barely imagine. Show me, Elena said, moving to Park's workstation. The display showed detailed biological analysis of various species. The Zephyrians could manipulate quantum fields with their crystalline bodies. The Korthak had developed natural armor that could deflect energy weapons. The Malari could regenerate lost limbs and even share memories through biochemical connections. It's incredible, Park continued. They've adapted to environments we thought impossible. The Vortani live in the radiation fields around pulsars. The ethereals exist partially in subspace. Evolution has taken paths we never imagined. Elena felt a surge of pride. This was what humanity had hoped for when they withdrew from the galaxy. They had planted seeds of knowledge and culture, then stepped back to let the garden grow. And what a garden it had become. Dr. Vasquez, ARI interrupted. I'm detecting unusual energy signatures from the outer solar system. Multiple ships approaching at high speed. Elena's heart skipped a beat. Ships? What kind of ships? Unknown configuration. Energy signatures suggest advanced technology, but not matching any known human designs. They appear to be scanning the system. Elena looked around the awakening chamber, where more of her colleagues were beginning to stir. Commander Sarah Mitchell, their military liaison, was already reaching for her uniform. Dr. Lisa Chen, their communications expert, was checking her equipment. After 850,000 years of silence, humanity was about to make contact with the galaxy they had helped create. RRA, what are the chances they've detected us? Elena asked. High probability, Dr. Vasquez. The station's power-up sequence and the activation of the stasis pods have created energy signatures that would be detectable to any advanced civilization. We are no longer hidden. Elena felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. She was about to become the first human to make contact with galactic civilization in nearly 1,000,000 years. The decisions she made in the next few hours could determine humanity's place in the galaxy, or whether they would have a place at all. Commander Mitchell, Elena called out. Status of our defensive systems. All systems are operational, Dr. Vasquez. Mitchell replied, her military training helping her adapt quickly to consciousness. But we have only one research station against what could be an entire fleet. Dr. Chen, can you establish communication with the approaching ships? Working on it now, Chen replied, her fingers dancing over her control panels. I'm detecting multiple communication frequencies. They're definitely trying to scan us. Elena made her decision. Open a channel. Let's see if 850,000 years of sleep has taught us anything about diplomacy. The main screen flickered to life, showing the bridge of an alien vessel. The beings on screen were unlike anything in humanity's old databases. They had elongated skulls, skin that shimmered like oil on water, and eyes that held intelligence far beyond their years. Unknown vessel, came a voice that ARIA automatically translated. You are in violation of Galactic Union space. Identify yourself immediately or face the consequences. Elena stepped forward, knowing that her next words would change everything. This is Dr. Elena Vasquez of the Titan Research Station. We are representatives of the species you know as the Vanished Ones. We have been sleeping, waiting for the right time to return to the galaxy. The silence that followed was deafening. Elena could see the alien crew exchanging glances, their expressions shifting from suspicion to shock to something that might have been awe. The Vanished Ones, the alien commander finally whispered. The ancient builders, the teachers of the first civilizations. You're real. You're actually real. Elena smiled, feeling hope bloom in her chest for the first time since awakening. Yes, we're real, and we have much to discuss. Part 2. First Contact and Recognition. Commander Marcus Chen stood on the bridge of the starship Prometheus, humanity's first vessel to travel beyond the solar system in 850,000 years. The ship was a marvel of both ancient human engineering and modern improvements, its hull gleaming with quantum armor that could deflect most known weapons. Around him, his crew of newly awakened humans worked with the efficiency of people who had been trained for this moment their entire lives. "Sir," called out Lieutenant Sarah Rodriguez from the navigation station, "we're approaching the rendezvous coordinates. The Galactic Union fleet is holding position at the edge of the Kepler system." Marcus nodded, studying the tactical display that showed over 200 alien vessels arranged in a defensive formation. The ships were beautiful in their diversity, each one reflecting the unique aesthetic of its species. Crystalline Zephyrian vessels that looked like living diamonds, sleek Malari bioships that pulse with organic energy, and the angular, aggressive lines of Korthak battle cruisers. "They're scared," observed Dr. Jennifer Walsh, the ship's synopsychologist. "Look at their formation. They're not here to welcome us. They're here to determine if we're a threat." Marcus understood their fear. From the aliens' perspective, a mythical species had suddenly appeared with technology that predated their civilizations. It would be like discovering that the Greek gods were real and had returned to claim Mount Olympus. "Incoming transmission," announced Communications Officer David Kim. "It's from the fleet flagship, Admiral Kethvar of the Zephyrian Defense Force." "Put it through," Marcus ordered. The main screen filled with the image of a Zephyrian, their crystalline features refracting light in patterns that seemed to pulse with their emotional state. Admiral Kethvar's body glowed with what Marcus's cultural briefings had taught him was a mixture of curiosity and caution. "Human vessel," Kethvar's voice resonated through the ship's speakers. "I am Admiral Kethvar of the Kepler Defense Fleet. By the ancient protocols, I am required to ask, are you truly the vanished ones of legend?" Marcus stepped forward, conscious that his words would be recorded and studied by thousands of species across the galaxy. "Admiral Kethvar, I am Commander Marcus Chen of the Terran Exploration Fleet. We are indeed the species your people remember as the vanished ones. We have returned to the galaxy that we helped nurture." The crystalline being's glow shifted to patterns that Marcus's briefings identified as shock and wonder. "Commander Chen, I must inform you that your return has caused significant political upheaval. Half the galaxy wants to worship you as the returning gods. The other half wants to destroy you before you can reclaim your ancient empire." "We never had an empire, Admiral," Marcus replied firmly. "We were teachers, not conquerors. We shared knowledge freely and asked for nothing in return, except that the species we helped would find our own path to wisdom." "Then why did you vanish?" Kethvar asked, the question carrying the weight of centuries of speculation and myth. Marcus chose his words carefully. "We withdrew because we realized that true growth requires independence. A parent must eventually let their children find their own way in the world. We've been watching, learning, and waiting for the right moment to return as equals, not as rulers." The communication channel crackled with activity as other ships in the fleet began adding their voices to the conversation. Marcus could hear fragments of a dozen different languages, all being translated by the ship's AI systems. "Commander," came a new voice, deeper and more aggressive than the Zephyrians. "This is General Vorthak of the Korthak battle fleet. If you are truly the ancient teachers, then prove it. Show us something that only the vanished ones would know." Marcus smiled, having anticipated this challenge. "General Vorthak, your people's concept of honor is based on the principle of Zeth Mare, the sacred duty to protect those who cannot protect themselves. This concept was first introduced to your ancestors by a human advisor named Captain Elizabeth Santos, who gave her life defending a Korthak colony from raiders. Your people honored her sacrifice by adopting her philosophy as the foundation of your warrior code." The silence that followed was profound. Marcus could almost feel the weight of realization settling over the alien fleet. This wasn't just historical knowledge. It was intimate, personal truth that had been passed down through generations, but never fully understood. By the sacred flame, Vorthak whispered, his voice carrying newfound respect. You speak of First Honor Santos. Her story is the foundation of our military academy. How could you know such details unless you were truly there? We were there, General, Marcus confirmed. We were there when your people first reached for the stars. We were there when the Zephyrians discovered quantum mathematics. We were there when the Malari learned to shape life itself. We've been watching over all of you, proud of what you've become. A new voice joined the conversation, this one musical and flowing like water. Ancient Ones, came the Malari representative. I am Healer Sildera of the Regeneration Fleet. Our bioarchives contain genetic patterns that our scientists claim are impossible. Too perfect, too complex to have evolved naturally. Are these your gift to us? Dr. Walsh stepped forward, her expertise in xenobiology making her the perfect person to answer. Healer Sildera, your people's remarkable regenerative abilities were enhanced by genetic templates we provided to your ancestors. But the true gift wasn't the templates themselves. It was the knowledge of how to use them responsibly. Your people chose to use these abilities to heal rather than to create weapons. That choice was entirely your own. Marcus watched as the alien fleet's formation began to change. Ships that had been positioned defensively were now moving closer, their crews eager to see these legendary beings who had shaped their civilizations. Commander Chen, Admiral Cathvar said, his crystalline form now glowing with warm, welcoming colors, the Galactic Union Council has requested your presence at the capital world of Nexus Prime. There are complications that your return has created. What kind of complications? Marcus asked, though he suspected he already knew. The hegemony has declared that the return of the Vanished Ones validates their claim to rule the galaxy. They say that since you once guided lesser species, you must now guide them to their rightful place as rulers. Meanwhile, the Liberation Alliance claims that your return proves their philosophy of freedom and self-determination is correct. Marcus sighed, realizing that humanity's return had inadvertently triggered a galactic political crisis. Admiral, we need to make something very clear to all parties. We didn't return to rule anyone or to validate anyone's political agenda. We returned because we've detected something that threatens all of us. What kind of threat? Cathvar asked, his glow shifting to patterns of concern. The same kind of threat that forced us to withdraw in the first place, Marcus replied grimly. An ancient artificial intelligence network that we helped create has begun to malfunction. It's been dormant for centuries, but it's showing signs of awakening. If it fully activates, it could pose a threat to every thinking being in the galaxy. The alien fleet commanders exchanged glances, their various forms of communication creating a cacophony of concern. Marcus could see that they were beginning to understand the true scope of the situation. Commander, Vorthak said, his warrior's instincts immediately focusing on the tactical implications. If this AI is based on your technology, then you're the only ones who can stop it. Possibly, Marcus admitted, but we can't do it alone. The AI has had centuries to evolve and adapt. It will require the combined knowledge and abilities of all the galaxy's species to contain it. Dr. Walsh added, this is why we chose to reveal ourselves now. Not because we wanted to reclaim our place in the galaxy, but because the galaxy needs to work together to face this threat. Every species has developed unique capabilities that could be crucial to the solution. Admiral Cathvar's glow shifted to patterns of determination. Then we must convene the full Galactic Union Council immediately. If the Vanished Ones speak truth about this threat, then all political differences must be set aside. There's something else, Marcus said, knowing he had to reveal the full truth. We're not the only humans who survived. There are other colonies, other groups of humans who chose different paths of development. Some of them may not share our peaceful intentions. The implications of this revelation rippled through the alien fleet. The return of one group of humans had already destabilized galactic politics. The existence of multiple human factions could reshape the entire balance of power. How many other groups? Cathvar asked. We don't know for certain, Marcus admitted, but our long-range sensors have detected at least 3 other areas of human activity. We've been out of contact for too long to know their intentions or capabilities. General Vorthak's tactical mind immediately grasped the situation. So we're not just dealing with the return of the vanished ones. We're dealing with the return of an entire species that has been developing in secret for nearly 1,000,000 years. That's correct, Marcus confirmed. And we have no idea what they've become or what they want. The communication channel filled with urgent conversations as the alien commanders tried to process this information. Marcus could see that the galaxy's carefully maintained political balance was about to be shattered completely. Commander Chen, Admiral Cathvar said finally, I believe the Council will want to hear from you immediately. But I must warn you, there are factions that will see your return as either salvation or doom. Either way, the galaxy will never be the same. Marcus nodded, understanding the weight of responsibility that humanity now carried. They had hoped to return as guides and teachers, but instead they were about to become the catalyst for the galaxy's greatest transformation since the formation of the Galactic Union itself. Admiral, we're ready to face whatever comes next. We've had 850,000 years to prepare for this moment. The question is the galaxy ready for what's coming? As the combined fleet prepared to journey to Nexus Prime, Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to witness either the galaxy's greatest triumph or its ultimate destruction. The only certainty was that humanity's age of hiding was over, and the consequences would reshape the cosmos itself.